Working with a publicity strategist like myself, you are going to start from the beginning, understanding what your message is, understanding how to talk about it, understanding for you to be newsworthy. So everybody says, I'm not ready for a publicist. No, you are ready because this is helping you not only with media, but it's helping you with your target audience. It's helping you with everything going down the line to build out your brand exposure.
Today's episode is brought to you by Share, Inform, Enlighten, which empowers individuals and communities through diverse perspectives, literacy promotion, and essential resources. From thought-provoking discussions to life-changing workshops and scholarships, we inspire growth, creativity, and connection. Join us in making a difference, one story, one skill, one step at a time. To learn more, visit our website at shareinformenlighten.org. Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. We are about empowering your passion with purpose, turning your passion into action, and living with intention and making an impact. I'm your host, Verdel Jones. Let's get started. Today we are welcoming Sharon Leid. She is a seasoned publicity strategist with over 20 years of expertise in public, media, community relations industry. In 2015, Sharon founded NetStruc PR LLC with a passion to assist small businesses in uncovering their newsworthiness and unique storytelling. She believes in creating tailored PR campaigns for each client, ensuring that their brand and needs are met. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, Verdel. It's nice to be back.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you back. Sharon and she was on the show years ago, so it is a pleasure. And I just want to say that Sharon really goes hard for her clients. She is excellent at what she does. So I'm excited to find out a little bit more how you help people. And so let's just jump right into it. So where did this passion for public relations come from? And what drives you to positively impact small businesses?
So I'm going to actually go back where the passion came from. So the passion actually came from, I actually started this in undergrad. So didn't even realize what I was doing, that I was going to be doing this as a career. So started in, and actually I was going to be a lawyer. So went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice, interned at the Brooklyn DA's office. I was doing all the right things until I started taking the LSAT and realized, this isn't for me. But I was working at the DA's office, and what happened was one of the bureau chiefs came to me and said, hey, you might be good for this position, which was a community relations specialist. And I was like, what is it? Went into it. It was more money. That's all I was looking for. I was young. But not realizing that became a passion of mine. And so community relations is a part of what I call with public relations, because it's really getting the word out.
Absolutely.
It's getting the message out. So when I go and I talk with people and I explain to them what their passion is, what they really need to do to get their message out, people kind of stay in a bubble. And I take them out of that bubble. So the work that I work with them on is think about the unique things about yourself. And when that light comes on and I see it in their eyes, they're just like, you're right. I didn't know that. And now we're just flowing. So that's the passion of what I get. So every time, every client, even if it's not a client, I'm talking to somebody and I give them an idea, that light comes on, I'm like, that's the passion. That's what drives me.
Wow. So you're really kind of working with people to identify what makes them special.
Right.
Which sometimes people have it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Okay.
It's hard to
right.
do.
I like
when
that.
they really understand their message, it becomes clear for not only for themselves, but for their target audience and also the media.
Right.
Because if the media is confused,
and that's the thing. And I think people do get so caught up in, they want to do a certain thing, but they're all over the place.
Yes.
So you can kind of help them narrow it down,
bring it together.
So public relations and marketing, they're different. Can you kind of clarify what the key difference is, marketing versus public relations?
So I always get this.
And you need both of them.
You need both of
Yeah.
them. And I tell people, you need both. Do not think you're going to have marketing without public relations and vice versa. So we work hand in hand. However, marketing drives sales. PR drives the story.
Okay.
People want to know and relate to you. So if they're relating to you, now they're more inclined to work with you.
Right.
You're not going to get that in an ad. You're not going to get that in a quick 30-second, elevator pitch or whatever. You're not going to get that. So I tell people, I said, listen, you need a marketing person. I'm not a marketing person.
Very different.
It's very different.
Yeah, very different.
You're driving sales. The language is different.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you understand it. But with public relations, you're pulling out that message. You're pulling out that passion. You're pulling out that drive of why is it that they're doing this, why they are helping people, how they are helping people. And that's the difference between the two.
And I can see it in the individuals that you work with. And you really have just a great way to pinpoint what it is and to get that story out there. So yeah, I've seen what you've done, and, it's really interesting how you have to spend a lot of time with people in order to get that.
Yes.
You're with your clients at most of their appearances that they do, which is so important as well.
And I call it, I don't want to say holding hands, but it's holding hands. Because sometimes clients, they know they got their stuff together.
Absolutely.
But when they walk into that studio, it's like, oh, wow. Okay, yeah. And so now I'm talking to them. I'm like, hey, I'm having this casual conversation with them because I see it in their eyes. And then everything just starts rolling afterwards. But I feel that it's really important to walk and be with my clients step by step so they know I'm vested in you.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going to just send you out there and, figure it out. I'm vested. So yes, if you're coming into the studio, I'm going with you. If you're going to a networking event, I'm coming with you. So
I love that. You hands-on. I love that.
Yes.
So why do you think some people shy away from PR and they say, public relations is not for them? What are some of the common myths surrounding public relations that you can kind of debunk?
So I get from a lot of people, I'm not ready.
Okay.
And that's the main one. I'm not ready. And my question to them is, how do you know you're not ready? Because there's steps, there's levels in public relations. So just because you get a publicity strategist like myself doesn't mean automatically you are going to go right in front of the camera. Or it doesn't mean that you're going to go right into a networking event and pitch and talk and things like that. No. As with working with a publicity strategist like myself, you are going to start from the beginning, understanding what your message is, understanding how to talk about it, understanding for you to be newsworthy. So everybody says, I'm not ready for a publicist. No, you are ready because this is helping you not only with media, but it's helping you with your target audience. It's helping you with everything going down the line to build out your brand exposure. Public relations, bottom line, is building out your brand exposure. So that's one of the things that they're not ready. Another thing that I hear is that they feel that they're not big enough. They're a small company. They're a mom and pop. They're an entrepreneur. And I'm like, that's even better because your big competitors, people are looking for diversity now. People are looking for something where people are more in tune with who they're spending their dollars with.
Right.
So don't think because you're small or you're an entrepreneur that public relations is not for you. It's even bigger now for you to utilize public relations.
You need that.
Yeah.
You have to have it. So what advice do you have for those who think it's not essential? What is something that you could tell them if you have a publicity strategist,
right?
What will that gain them in their business?
Confidence, one, because I'm talking to you as if you are about to go out and pitch to your biggest client, $1 million client. So your confidence builds up.
Yeah.
Your understanding of your message becomes much clearer. So you understand how to position yourself for the antennas to go up. It's those things that's what you get for you to be more confident, for you to start talking, and for you to really say, you know what, I'm ready for the media.
Right.
That's one of the last things that I push for people.
Yeah, I would imagine, because they have to be ready.
They got to be ready.
They have to be ready to do that interview and know exactly what they're talking about and be spot on with all the things that they need to convey.
And there's always a call to action. So I get people that come to me and I ask them, I said, hey, have you been in the media? Oh, yes, I've been here, I've been there. I was like, oh, great, let me listen to it. And it has nothing to do with what they actually want to be projected. And I'm like, well, were you prepped? What happened? And they were like, no, I just figured, no, this was great. And I always use this story. There was a young lady, she came to me. She was a chef. And she said, Sharon, I want you to work with me. And I was like, great. She was like, oh, I was just on a podcast. Great, let me listen to the podcast. She was like, yeah. I said, what's the name of it? She couldn't remember the name. I listened to it. And then I listened to the rest of the audio, and I said, this is a podcast for animals.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
And I said, did you know? She was
Right.
like, he was a very good friend of mine. He wanted me to get on the show. He knew that I was launching my catering. I said, you cook for humans. You cannot be on a podcast.
Deals with animals.
Right. So I say that to say is that you have to, one, understand the platform that you're going on. And that's where I come in also, because sometimes it doesn't make sense for you to be on a particular platform because the overall message of that particular platform does not resonate with your audience.
Right. It's not a fit there.
It's not a fit.
Right. So, this doesn't happen overnight. And getting that media attention, you said that's like one of the last things really you do when you're working with people. But you developed a PR toolkit to help clients build their brand visibility. So that's some of the things that you were just really talking about, getting them ready for that. Can you share what's in your PR toolbox and why it's critical for a long-term success?
So as I mentioned, when we first start, we're understanding your message, right? So I'm not putting you point blank in front of a camera. So they're small things, an email list. Do you have an email list? No? Yes? If you don't, let's start creating an email list. How do we create an email list? Social media, another toolbox, another toolkit. Going out to networking events. How are you going to network? How are you positioning yourself? How do you want to be seen? And those are things. So you're now creating an email list. You're utilizing social media. You're becoming a speaker now. Hey, you want to be an author? Absolutely. Oh, you want to speak at a conference? Great. Those are things that what I put in place. And then when I see that they're at that point where they can handle an interview, I then book. Right. But then the prep comes in. And then, so it's a whole lot of things, but
it's very comprehensive.
It is. It is. So I had to do that because I've had a lot of people come to me and say, well, step back. I've spoken to some people, and they said they were jaded by publicists because they didn't get into any media.
Okay.
It takes time to get into the media.
Right.
So if I'm on a 6-month contract with you, and it's going to take 6 months because sometimes it does, or longer, what are you doing within that time frame? So I had to come up with other techniques to use so they can continue building out their brand exposure until, one, I feel comfortable that you could get into the media, and then two, when the press says yes, we're ready.
You're ready to go.
Ready to go.
So for those of you that want to learn more about working with you or need guidance and a PR strategy, how can they connect with you? And you can right there in that camera.
Absolutely. So you can go to my website, which is netstrucpr.com, which that's NETSTRUC PR.com. You can also send me an email at sleid, that's SLEID, at netstruc.net. Also, you can find me on LinkedIn, which I prefer to use as one of my social media platforms, which is my name, Sharon Leid, or you can also check out NetStruc PR.
All right. Thank you so much, Sharon,
for
coming back. A lot of great information shared. If you're a small business, you really do need to think about having a PR.
Especially this year. Absolutely. You definitely have to think outside of the box.
Absolutely. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's always great to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to have you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Conversations with Verdel Jones, empowering your passion with purpose. I hope today's conversation left you inspired, informed, and ready to take action. If today's episode sparked something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, pass it on, and keep the cycle of learning and growing alive. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share so you will never miss an episode. And remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. See you next time.